Sarah had always been someone who believed in the power of a positive mindset. She was the type of person who tried to lift others up, even when her own day seemed difficult. At 27, Sarah worked at a marketing agency, a job she had dreamed of for years. She was passionate about her work, always giving 110 in every project. Yet, despite her dedication and effort, she was constantly surrounded by negativity. Her coworkers were quick to criticize, dismissing her ideas or mocking her optimism. "That's unrealistic," they'd say when she pitched something new. "Don't get your hopes up," they warned whenever she tried to remain hopeful in the face of setbacks. At home, it wasn't much better. Sarah's friends, while well-meaning, also tended to focus on the negative. Whenever Sarah mentioned a new project or a goal she had set, they'd throw doubt on her abilities. "Are you sure you're ready for that?" one would ask. "Do you think you're cut out for this kind of job?" another would say. The constant barrage of doubt and skepticism made Sarah question herself more than ever. She started to feel like no matter how hard she tried, the world around her was determined to bring her down. It wasn't that Sarah didn't believe in herself, it was that she was beginning to feel worn out from constantly defending her optimism. Every day felt like a battle, and every victory, no matter how small, seemed overshadowed by the negativity that surrounded her. She would walk into the office with a smile, only to have it wiped away by a harsh comment from a coworker or an offhand remark from a friend. Slowly, the bright spark she had once carried started to fade. The turning point came one morning when Sarah was tasked with leading a new project. She had worked hard on the pitch, put in extra hours to make sure everything was perfect, and even made sure her team felt confident in her leadership. But when she presented the idea to her coworkers, they tore it apart, finding fault with every detail. The criticism wasn't constructive, it was cruel. They didn't just point out problems, they seemed to enjoy breaking down her ideas, as though her success was something they didn't want her to achieve. That night, Sarah sat in her apartment, feeling completely defeated. She looked around at the four walls that used to feel like a safe space, but now they felt suffocating. "Maybe they're right," she thought. "Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe it's easier to just give up." Her mind was consumed by doubts. The weight of others' negativity had planted seeds of uncertainty, and she wasn't sure how to get out of this dark place. She was tired of fighting, tired of trying to prove herself, and most of all, tired of being surrounded by people who didn't seem to believe in her. This was the moment when Sarah realized she had two choices. She could continue down this path of self-doubt and allow the negativity to consume her, or she could try something different, something that seemed almost impossible. She could try to find positivity, not from the people around her, but from within herself. But that was easier said than done. After all, how could you stay positive when everything around you felt like it was falling apart? The conflict was clear. Sarah was stuck in a toxic cycle. She was surrounded by negativity, and it felt like there was no way out. But somewhere deep inside, she knew she couldn't stay in this dark place forever. She had to find a way to fight back. In the days that followed, Sarah decided to make a conscious change. She knew it wouldn't be easy, and she knew she couldn't rely on others to change. If she was going to break free from the cycle of negativity, she had to start with herself. Sarah began to take small steps, incorporating new habits into her daily routine that nurtured her mind and spirit. It wasn't about ignoring the negativity around her, it was about strengthening her inner foundation so that she could stand firm, no matter what was thrown her way. The first thing Sarah did was start journaling. Every morning, she would write down 3 things she was grateful for. At first, it felt like a struggle. Her mind was so accustomed to focusing on the things that went wrong or the people who brought her down. But slowly, she started to see the positive in even the smallest of things. She was grateful for the hot cup of coffee she enjoyed every morning. She appreciated the beautiful park she passed on her walk to work. She began noticing the little victories in her day, like finishing a task early or receiving a compliment from a client. These small moments of gratitude began to shift her perspective. Next, Sarah started meditating. It wasn't about stopping the negative thoughts, it was about observing them without letting them control her. She learned to breathe through the moments of doubt and frustration, allowing herself the space to feel but not to dwell. Meditation became her tool to calm her mind, especially when the negativity from work or her friends threatened to overwhelm her. With time, it became easier to find peace in moments of chaos. Instead of reacting to every comment or setback, Sarah began to respond with a sense of calm and clarity. Then, Sarah began to surround herself with positive influences. She sought out mentors who encouraged her growth, not just in her career, but in her personal life as well. She joined a group of like-minded individuals who were focused on personal development and positivity. They supported one another in their journeys, offering advice and motivation when things got tough. Slowly, Sarah began to realize that while she couldn't change the people around her, she could change the way she interacted with them. She didn't have to let their negativity affect her. She could choose to stay true to herself, to her values, and to the positive mindset she was nurturing within. The results were not immediate, but they were undeniable. Sarah's confidence grew, and so did her ability to handle setbacks. When she presented a new project at work, her co-workers were still skeptical, but Sarah no longer let their doubts define her. She presented her ideas with clarity and conviction, and even though they still found things to criticize, she no longer took it personally. She knew that their opinions didn't define her worth. She was in control of her own narrative. One day, after months of dedication to her own growth, Sarah was promoted at work. The very project that had been criticized so harshly months before became the turning point in her career.